On today's episode, I want to look at some free agent targets for the Browns now that the NFL draft is over, and we know that Andrew Berry likes to continue adding to his roster when he traded for Zadarius Smith after the draft as a proven example of that. So the Browns made 7 total picks, and they filled a lot of the holes on their roster, but I don't think they completely, addressed all the issues on this roster. So I want to look at some free agents out there that could pique Andrew Berry's interest. Now, it is worth reminding you guys that the Browns have already gotten started in free agency, signing wide receiver Diontae Johnson. So for everyone that wanted the Browns to draft a receiver, one, you can't say draft best player available and then be mad they don't take a receiver when it's not a great receiver draft class. 2, there were a lot of good veteran receivers on the open market. Now, I don't like the Diontae Johnson sign it because they're just going with pure talent over locker room camaraderie and fit, and there's got to be some kind of balance, but this, to me, is not a good enough balance. So let's look at the first free agent that the Browns could have interest in, and that is their very own Nick Chubb. I've got to start with Chubb here. I don't think the Browns would sign Chubb to have a big role on the offense. I think it would be because they want him to finish his career in Cleveland, and they are willing to give him a contract and give him a roster spot, even if internally they feel like his best days are way behind him. We've gotten some rumors over the last couple of days that he could be going to an NFC North team. We're filming this on Wednesday, April 30th, so maybe by the time you're watching this, that's already happened. But I sure would love to see Chubb finish his career in Cleveland. He has said he wants to finish his career in Cleveland. He's a workout machine. He's a workout warrior, posting a bunch of awesome videos, jumping like a kangaroo, letting everyone know he can still play in the National Football League. But actions speak louder than words, and when you draft 2 running backs, I just don't see a role for Chubb on this offense anymore. So I would love for him to come back from an emotional standpoint, from a locker room standpoint, from a logistical standpoint. If Chubb did not play for the Browns, would it make much sense? No, I don't think we'd be talking about him at all if he played for any other team. But maybe because he is one of the best players in that locker room and the heart and soul of this team since 2018 with Miles, that could be reason enough for Andrew Berry to give him a roster spot. But I also wonder, would Chubb want to come back if it's like a petty signing? We're like, hey, we want to have you back. We don't really have a big role for you in mind. We drafted 2 running backs. We're going to let those guys kind of take over. Chubb might go, listen, if I'm just going to be a backup on this team, there are other teams out there where I can have a much larger role offensively. I'm going to go there instead. If you want Chubb to come back, though, like today's video. So after Chubb, I want to look at 2 other players who are also former Brownies, and that is wide receiver Elijah Moore and Amari Cooper. Now, I'm going to interrupt myself real quick here because Elijah Moore has signed with the Buffalo Bills. This happened after I filmed this video, which was during our live show on Wednesday. Now, normally I would just refilm the whole thing, but I have to leave to go to the airport for my brother's wedding this upcoming weekend. And so as a result of that, I didn't have time to completely scrap and delete the whole video and refilm it. So ignore the whole Elijah Moore part of this because he is off to Buffalo. Like we mentioned at the top of the video, adding Diontae Johnson, I think, really filled the void at receiver. But the Browns did put some unusual restricted free agent type tag on Elijah Moore. I'm still not really sure what it all means. But anywho, so there could be interest in the Browns going, hey, we wanted Moore and maybe Cooper to come back. And both guys played very well with Joe Flacco. And we want to recreate and recapture that magic. We just didn't think that we'd, have the means and the financial space to do it back in March. But here we are in May, and you guys are still available. So if your price has gone down, we'd love to have you back. It was always just a bit of a money thing for us and allocating resources to proper spots. Plus, it helps that we just went through the draft. We did not draft anyone, so it's not like there is a rookie that we are going to have, their growth stunted due to a couple of veterans coming in at the last moment. No, sure, you added Diontae Johnson, but you don't have much stock in Diontae Johnson, right? This is not something you want to see or you're invested in long term like you are with a rookie who's got a 4-year contract. No, he's on a 1-year deal. So you could bring in Johnson and then either Moore or Amari Cooper, and let them compete in training camp. Whichever receiver has the best camp, they win the job, they get a roster spot, and the other guy gets cut. And you don't think twice about it because you're not looking at it as like a, man, we're giving up on someone we thought could be here long term. No, he wasn't going to be here past 2025 according to his contract. And the Browns wide receiver room, it's a little underwhelming after Jerry Jeudy. So with the way Moore and Cooper both played, especially Amari, with Joe Flacco, I wouldn't be opposed to a re-signing. Now, between you, me, and everyone else watching, I think Amari Cooper's going to go back to the Cowboys. I think Elijah Moore is going to go to maybe the Kansas City Chiefs. Let's check out the fourth free agent that could have Cleveland's interest. It is cornerback Asante Samuel Jr. Got Dion's son. Why not get Asante Samuel's son? But the reason why I'm bringing him into the fold is because the Browns, I think, have a little bit of a need at nickel potentially. So, some background on the former second-round pick. Last year, he suffered a shoulder injury, only played in 4 games. That was really the first time he missed substantial time in his NFL career. The Chargers had a bunch of zone defense here, so that was something that the LA defense really looked into. And while the Browns with Jim Schwartz hopped around a little bit from man to zone, there could be an avenue for Asante Samuel to be a good fit with the way Jim Schwartz likes to run his defense. But the reason why I'm bringing up Samuel is because there were some trade rumors that came out before the NFL draft about Greg Newsome. And Samuel does play that inside nickel spot and started every single game from 2022 to 2023, 3 straight years to open up his career with 2 interceptions. I like the idea, if you plan to move on from Greg Newsome, to bring Samuel into the mix here. Plus, Andrew Berry loves loading up at DB. Now, he did sign a corner before the draft, Nick Needham, but if they end up flipping Newsome for a draft pick, and they're still looking for, more quality starting experience at nickel, Asante Samuel could be a great option for Cleveland. So, not a bad avenue to explore, but it's very much contingent on the Browns trading Greg Newsome. Because as of now, I don't see much of a role for him. But then again, the Browns have made a bunch of surprising signings. How many of you thought they'd sign Tevin Jenkins, a former second-round pick by the Bears, when they have Bitonio and Teller starting at guard and Zach Zinter, a third-round pick last year? I don't think a single person tossed out the idea of Cleveland adding a guard. Or when they traded for Kenny Pickett. Was that a name people had on their radar? No. So the Browns like to do this. They like to keep us on their toes. This would be a didn't see it kind of coming signing. But a very talented player, an early draft pick that for one reason or another is being overlooked, is exactly the profile of a player that Andrew Berry pursues. Before we look at the 5th free agent, I do want to tell you guys that there is an awesome deal going on at Fanatics to get the Browns rookie jerseys. When you go to chatsports.com/CLE rookies, get a Shedeur Sanders jersey, a Mason Graham jersey, a Quinshon Judkins jersey. Use this link. It's a great way to support the channel. So really appreciate those of you that already do that. But if you're thinking of getting a new jersey, I just ask you use this link. It's in the comments and description of today's video. 5th and final free agent target I'll toss out is Justin Simmons. Multiple Pro Bowls, an All-Pro safety, a takeaway machine for the Denver Broncos since getting drafted in 2016. Last year with the Atlanta Falcons, not as good as he was prior years in Denver. But I want to show you guys the safety room because, to me, this is a spot where I could see Andrew Berry going, hey, we can upgrade. We like Ronnie Hickman, but we feel like Justin Simmons could be better. And so I would not once again rule out the possibility of Berry going, wait a minute, you're telling me we can improve this roster and the only thing standing in our way is a $5 to $7 million contract? Sure, why not? The why not might be, well, don't you want to see Ronnie Hickman develop and maybe be a long-term starter for you versus taking a 1-year flyer on a veteran? But after the way the Browns played last year, Barry may not have patience for that. After a 3-win season, he might go, listen, I'm not going to sit around to see if these guys break out or not, when I know I can get better players in the open market. And if those better players see their price drop a little bit, would not rule out Barry swooping in and collecting some vets. He's done it before. He likes to go for more like quantity over quality. Not one big $80 million signing, but a lot of kind of little signings. And if these veterans' contracts get small enough to where they are little signings, they kind of scream the profile that Barry pursues. So who do you think the Browns should sign? Looking through those 5 players, is it one of them? Is it someone else? Let me know in the comment section below. For me, the number one guy from an emotional standpoint I'd like to see the Browns sign is Nick Chubb. And I think Chubb's going to be a good running back next year. If we're talking about, hey, what's going to make the Browns roster better? I kind of want to dabble with Amari Cooper, right? See if you can get back to what he did with Joe Flacco 2 years ago. And just pretend like last year never happened, and you get Cooper and Dylan Gabriel, your 3rd-round pick out of it. All right, let's pick a card now. Reed, which card are you going with?
Give me 3 of hearts.
Okay.
But not 3 of hearts. 4 of hearts.
Okay, I'm going to go 3 of hearts. 3 of hearts. Give it to me. You're not going to believe this. Back-to-back 7 of hearts.
Oh my God.
Back-to-back 7 of hearts. Wow. Thank you guys for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see everyone next time.